We're back with another crossover episode from Show Me Your Tech Stack series. This is a really exciting one where I sat down with Matthew Seifert. He's the Senior Director of Retention and Monetization at Pretty Litter. It's a subscription-based cat litter brand helping pet owners keep tabs on their health. And it's if you have cats, it's really cool. Check out Pretty Litter. So if you thought I was passionate about customer experience, then wait until you hear from Matthew in this episode. They use 4 apps for CS alone. And we chat about how each one plays an important role in their stack, plus how they power retention and acquisition through this service-oriented approach. So hope you enjoyed this crossover episode. Welcome to the show where we are looking at the marketing technologies that our customers are using. Another episode of Show Me Your Tech Stack, episode number 3. Today, we are joined by Matthew Seifert. He is visiting from prettylitter.com. Welcome to the show, Matthew.
Great. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Can you just give the crowd just a quick breakdown of who Pretty Litter is and your role there?
Sure, absolutely. So Pretty Litter is a health monitoring cat litter, and it's delivered directly to your door, and it changes color when it detects any type of urinary abnormalities. So it's a fantastic product. And for what I do there, I'm the Senior Director of Retention and Monetization. Basically, I am responsible holistically for the customer, from the customer acquisition in terms of channels, so email and SMS. And then I'm also responsible for anything that happens post-purchase. So the growth of the customer, the retention of the customer, and also the win back of the customer.
Great. So, and I think we should add as well as, I was looking over your background, 15 plus years in experience in digital marketing. You're at Evite previously, was B2B, now you're in B2C. The technologies, concepts, strategies carry over whether or not you're in e-commerce or marketing to other businesses. And so what I'm really interested to hear today is that 15 years of experience when you first started. When we first started with Just, there was just a handful of available apps.
Yeah.
And, where we fast forward today with over 6,000 available tools available, what I'm hearing day in and day out is how, what was the word we said? It's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff for digital marketers today to manage. So as we look at Pretty Litter and your day-to-day, off the top of your head, how many apps do you think you're managing within your MarTech stack?
Oh, that's a great question. Just from the channel, I would say probably upwards of 7 to 10 just for individual channel marketing. From a company perspective, we have a lot more than that, from acquisition to product to operations and things like that. But yeah, I would say probably about 7 to 10 that I'm managing right now. And, that's just probably a start, just scratching the surface.
Yeah. And of those, would you say they're apps that you log in daily, weekly, monthly?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would absolutely say that. So email's huge for us. Email's a huge channel driver, and so is SMS. So those two are always the ones we look at from the top of the day, midday, and also end of day. Just so you know, we always want to make sure, as you do our spin to win on our site for email collection and SMS collection, we always want to keep a pulse on that. So that's something we log into probably at least once a day, maybe more than that. And then the rest of them are probably maybe a few times a week.
And for email, which platform?
We're using Cheetah Digital.
Cheetah Digital.
The
I think we should step back to Pretty Litter itself. When I was doing a kind of a teardown, the product itself is really cool. And in a sense, just to let everyone know, is if you've ever had a cat or dealt with a box, it's this science behind it where when your cat goes to the bathroom, when it pees in the box, it changes color based off the chemicals within the urine to tell you that, what is the health of your cat's diet.
Yeah, so basically, so it helps really monitor, make sure, it's really a peace of mind for our pet parents out there. So and that's correct. Yeah, so it will change color if it detects any type of change. And we always say that, monitor it over the next couple of days, and then, bring your little one to the vet if you see any concern, or, if it changes red because there may be blood in the urine. So we always want to make sure that, obviously we're helping speak for the cats out there.
So, and going through the process of the site, just kind of pulling out different technologies, um, you essentially have a singular product.
Mhm.
I noticed there was the upsell with food, I think it was as well.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. So our core product's litter. So we have the litter. It's the pretty litter itself, which you can get in, unscented, scented. We also have a clumping version. But there's also food. We just launched pips, which are our treats. And then we have toys and accessories, so litter box and scoopers and things like that. But and there's many coming down the road. Nothing I can say yet, but it will be coming soon. So some really cool stuff that we'll be doing. But yes, we really started as a singular focus company, which was really around litter, and we've just really been building around the health of your pet.
Well, it helps you focus in on your technology of that
Correct.
checkout experience. And
Hmm.
I really felt it felt simple, which is what users want. There weren't too
Yeah.
many options. It's like, wow, this is cool. I want to try it. You give me two options, the once a month or
Yeah. Or
3 months
multi-month. Yeah. Hmm.
go out. In terms of your cart, what technology are you using there? It looked like
So the site is Shopify and the card is Recharge. So we
recharge.
partnered with Recharge to do it, yeah. And just as you were saying, the site itself, we kept it very very easy to use, easy to get through. I mean, it's very our product team did a fantastic job from a build perspective. We have a great creative team too. So it basically just gives all the information that the customer needs, or the prospect hopefully becoming a customer before they enter the cart. But once they get in the cart, again, it's only a few simple steps to check out, and then yep, they get right into Recharge, enter the information, and then they're kind of on their way.
Have you looked at when you're looking at your cart? Um, I'm constantly looking at ways that retailers can kind of compete with Amazon and
Mm-hmm.
what is their competitive advantage. And a free gift has been one of the standouts of what
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
offer. I was also thinking with the Pretty Litter being such a one of those, I'm sure once people experience it once, there's kind of like that wow factor.
Absolutely.
Do you do any of the like free samples to try to hook people
To
earlier?
incentivize, so from a litter perspective, we don't do. We have a couple of different programs. So when you're a first time customer and a prospect is coming through and hopefully converting to a first time customer, we do offer a lot of discounts and free toys. So we'll do a combination to get people into that first purchase. So we do that across all of acquisition, email, and SMS. And then through the cart, we also have a smaller option from a food perspective if they want to try the food out. We also obviously have what I mentioned earlier, the pips, if they want to just kind of test into, some of the different types of treats that they could give their cat. But from a litter perspective, we actually don't offer it. One of the things that we do offer from a customer perspective, once you become a customer, we do have a referral program that if you give a bag, you get a bag. So if I'm a new customer and then I refer you, you become a customer, I then get a free bag from my next subscription, which is a nice way to not only help retain but also to thank the customers. And
Mhm.
that, I guess, in sense, could be seen as, from a loyalty perspective, but also for any new customers coming in, we want them to be able to try it out. So if you know someone, there's a good chance you'd be able to get a free bag through our referral program.
Cool. So, talking about these 7 to 10 apps that are we calling
Yeah.
them apps, technologies? What do you call
Technologies partners, that's it, because we've been very lucky with a lot of our partners. So like Cheetah, Talkable is our referral partner, Just Uno. We look at it, I feel like this is such a cliche, but it's so true. And for all the years that I've been working, is that I always look at my partners as partners, not vendors. So I want to see them as being an extension of our team. So we're small but mighty on the CRM side, but we really want to make sure that, how can we extend the team and basically get the reach that we need. So we just call, well, I guess we call them technologies our tech, but yeah, also I would say just the partners we're working with.
there's kind of two things there. One I wrote down is, small but mighty. And
Mm-hmm.
that is time and time again, that is digital marketing teams, e-com management
100%.
teams. It's blowing my mind how much sometimes it's individuals, sometimes it's
Mm-hmm.
small teams.
Yeah.
Most often we're hearing about these one person shows that are really running the whole most of the business. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, when I started back in 2019, it was solely myself. So I helped start a lot of the CRM side of the business. So we had email. I was able to launch SMS. So we started with our SMS provider back in 2019. Also, I'm responsible for customer support. So customer service also rolls up under myself. But as we've expanded over the past couple of years, there's now I have two lifecycle marketing managers who are helping run the SMS referral and email channel, along with the partnership with Just Uno. And then I also have a director of customer experience who he actually runs our agents, on the ground agents. So that's for phone, chat, social, email, SMS, and there's about 70 of them.
I always tell my team customer service is sales.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nordstrom's really led
Yeah.
that back in the day.
Yeah.
If you have a good experience, you get that win back. I mean, it's so much
Absolutely.
easier. And that's retailing. It's
Absolutely.
providing great service, great product, delivering
Yeah.
that product on time. If you mentioned your reorder, your um, retention campaigns, everything, your retention campaigns are so much easier if
Mm-hmm.
your shipping, logistics is able to get that product to them quick, have a great experience
Yeah.
with the product, and get it big. It all
Yeah.
it all ties together. And at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's now falling on these digital marketers and ecom managers to make sure that's all working.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Absolutely. It's a lot of the start of it, especially once the acquisition of a customer happens, and you want to obviously make sure that all the teams are working, really in sync together.
So I'm going to reflect back here as we talk about not necessarily the technologies, but the
Yeah,
realities of being a digital marketer in today's world.
yeah,
You know, I woke up, God, it was about a month ago. I woke up and I was on a email thread from Matthew, and it
mm,
was a Saturday morning, and there was a sale going on, and
mm,
an update had to be made. And as I reflect back, I used to be a retailer myself.
mm,
You know, and I tell my team this: it's not a 9 to 5 job.
mhm.
A website is an organic, living business that has to be tended to 24/7.
Yeah,
And, so
it's true.
it sounded like you were running a sale, and that's in retail. People shop on the weekends. People don't
Mm.
shop 9 to 5. What's it like for you on a kind of a weekly basis? Is that common for you to have fire drills, late at night or on the weekends? And when that happens, you're looking for a
Mm.
partner that will be there to respond, et cetera.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm like, I don't want everyone to think that that's what I'm always calling at night. No, 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 not at all. No, and the team, your team obviously handled it beautifully and really jumped in and helped us out. For us, we're really lucky, and I've been very lucky actually in most of my career that I've worked with companies and been part of organizations that do really value the work-life balance. But also, it's more in me that I'm very much like I'm always monitoring, and I think a lot of digital marketers are like that because we always want to succeed. We always want to, do well. We always want to make sure that if we succeed, our team succeeds, and so does the company. So it's not just about us; it's about everyone else. We want to always make sure we have that good customer experience for anyone who is either a first time or a recurring customer. So a lot of it's just I'm always checking and making sure that stuff is going out the door, and it is being done, flawlessly. Once in a while, sometimes things will happen that something will break or something will come up. It's technology. It's all technology,
Yeah.
and we've been lucky that all of our partners, to be honest, all of our partners have, if it has happened, and it's been rare that it's happened that it has to be either a Friday night or over the weekend, but all of our partners have been really fantastic in jumping in and being like, what can we do to help? And we always are very thankful and grateful for that. And we always say, we're like, this is not a normal thing. So again, I've just been very lucky within my career to be part of companies that, really truly try to help to be like, what can we do to keep it within, the normal hours? But again, you're right. It's 24 hours. E-commerce is everywhere. It's all the time.
Yeah. And people are so, when you look at management, one thing you look at is how do you make people feel comfortable to screw up?
Hmm.
I learned early on is when I saw people, their biggest fear was getting fired. So what
Yeah.
can you do to help remove as many of those barriers And in your role, in your job, it requires you to push the limits
Hmm.
of what you can do in digital marketing because it's changing so fast. You can't,
Yeah,
what worked yesterday may not work today, especially talking about like the iOS update.
yeah.
And with you focusing on, email, with lead capture with email and SMS, that game's evolved a lot in the
Yeah,
last.
absolutely. Yeah,
Uh,
no, absolutely. And we, I'm a firm believer, and this was I guess a quality of Evite that was instilled in me was we always just say move fast with sure footing. So basically, you move fast, but still kind of make sure your feet are on the ground as you're going through. But even just as a leader, I mean, just as you said, like very much so that mistakes are going to happen. Like we're going to trip, we're going to fall, we're going to learn. Like it's all about learning. It's all about the experience, and if you can grow from it, I mean, that's all I want for myself and also for my team to make sure that, it's okay. You have the room and the sandbox to kind of play in and really, again, push the boundaries and the limits. And some stuff's not going to work. Some stuff will. And we have to test to find out what that is.
so you mentioned customer support kind of falls
Hmm.
under your periphery. Um,
Correct.
what what technology are you using in that regard?
Sure. We use Zendesk for the actual customer service platform. We use a company called Thankful for our AI. So those are basically is an AI agent, and she handles. We named her is Kat, and she actually handles specific inquiries that come through. So she doesn't handle everything. We just gave her like maybe it's a shipping question, things like that. We're able to build technology and learning around that. We also use like Chat Desk, Stella Connect for our CSAT, NPS for our Net Promoter Score.
Dude,
Just a few.
you're already five in.
I know exactly. I haven't even named all of them. Yeah. We use a lot, especially from, again, we're on the customer experience. We really want to make sure that we have as many pulses as possible just to get, and we also leverage SMS a lot for, we do this connection through SMS and CS that we actually, we'll reach out to the customer 5 days into their first order and ask how's it going, and they can rate us 1 to 5. And if they rate us 4 to 5, we is an automated response that says, "Hey, thank you so much. Do you want to here, click here to refer a friend?" If it's 1, 2, or 3, we immediately open a ticket and connect a CS agent, and within minutes, the CS agent is like, "What can I do? What can I help you with?" Because they're a new customer, maybe they have questions, they're concerned, they're not sure if it's working, they have it in the wrong location, they're not stirring it, or it's just not the cat's not acclimating. Like, what can we do early on in that relationship to really help the customer out to make sure they have as much success as possible with the product?
I love you're customer centric.
Hmm.
You
Correct.
go into it.
Yeah.
You mentioned a fifth, refer a friend.
Yes.
What are you using there?
So yeah, so refer from using a company called Talkable. So again, that's the give a bag, get a bag. So if you're a current customer, you can refer your friend, and if they become a customer, they get a bag, and so do you.
So, here's a new question that I'm just coming up with is
Sure.
login management. How do you
Yes.
maintain your login?
Okay. So do you mean just from
Do
actual
you use like
access or like?
LastPass or
Oh,
one
good question.
login?
We were using LastPass for a while. I was. I don't now anymore. There's no reason. I have just a number of things in my head. I like to keep my mind going. So I mean, everyone's different from a company perspective. We try to centralize it, but a lot of people do use LastPass.
Um, how are you communicating with your team? What platforms are you using? Just email? Are you using
Sure.
Basecamp?
Yeah, so Jira is huge for us from a project perspective. So from a creative, tech, or data perspective, we use Jira. Slack, obviously, just to stay connected, just being
Yeah.
100% remote. Email also, but email's a little, I mean, as someone who loves email from a marketing perspective, it's just, I think it gets a little hard when the conversation goes back and forth. And then Zoom's huge for us. We're very big on keeping our video on too. So it's a lot of face to face, which is really nice. But yeah, that's probably where we spend most of our day. I would say mainly when it's communication, like true, like brainstorming, one-on-ones, things like that, or it's really between, either Slack or Zoom.
Then, when let's say you want to integrate a new app,
Yeah. Mhm.
you have full control of that, or are you working with the product team or dev team?
Yeah, we from a channel marketing perspective, our team would own it. So SMS, email, Talkable, which is referral, spin to win, all of that. That actually we own in terms of the relationship. If we bring them on, really it would be our sole discretion if we can make the business case for it. And then what if we're going to integrate it, we then work with obviously tech/dev, anything from an operations data perspective, we need to integrate. So like when we onboarded Cheetah years ago, we basically worked with almost everyone within the organization because we needed creative stuff. We needed to work with product and dev and operations, and our data scientist was working heavily in there with us. So yeah, we just do a lot of scoping to make sure that, any decision that we're making. I'm very big on bringing people along for the journey. So if we're looking to make a change or looking to make an addition, we will bring people across the organization who would be really key stakeholders in it. And we make sure that, this is what we're thinking to do. This is the goal. This is why we're doing it. What do you think? And I'm always huge on saying poke holes. I'm like, poke as many holes through it as possible, because I want to make sure that whatever we're getting is what we're going to be able to use and excel on.
Does that process, you feel, hold you back at all in terms of achieving your goals and your success?
No, that's a great question. No, because again, we're as a team, we're small but mighty, not only CRM and the customer experience side or the retention and monetization side, but just across the organization. We're very big on, from a team lead perspective, we all speak on a frequent basis. So if there's usually never surprises when it comes to that stuff. I mean, obviously things move very fast, and sometimes we're like, wait, I thought I heard that, but from like when it comes to technology, yeah, I would say that no, it's as long as the case is there, it makes sense for the business, it makes sense for long term and growth. The team and the organization is very big on supporting that and elevating that.
That's great to hear. That's how you build success. So many times, so often you'll hear digital marketers' hands are tied.
Absolutely, yeah. No,
Uh,
we're very lucky. Yeah, I'm very lucky, and so is our team. We're very lucky here.
Being such a customer centric business, have you considered, as we talk about customer service, the video chat function where you can have like live video with a rep and a visitor?
That's interesting. We actually we haven't. We do. I mean, we do have. Phone is our biggest channel next to email. So it is quite possible. We actually just haven't looked at doing that. I mean, I think that we probably have to probably do some vetting just to see, what
Yeah.
makes sense. Also, it would be interesting to see the comfort level of the customer. But I would think that, after the past several years with the pandemic, that people are more comfortable with teledoc and all of that. That people are like, I do like that face to face. I don't need to leave my home. I can just actually speak to someone and feel that we're making that connection, as opposed to just through email or chat or SMS. So it's very interesting, but yeah, no, we haven't thought about
Yeah,
that.
I've been wanting to kind of integrate it even with Justina and our team. It's
Oh,
just,
really?
it's like you can only add so much,
Yeah,
and bog everyone down. I was just curious if you had
yeah,
looked at it. Are there
yeah.
any other, let's talk horizon here.
Hmm.
Are there any apps you're looking at hoping to add? Any new partners in the
Yeah,
pipeline?
yeah, no. So right now we just actually switched SMS providers, so we're right in the middle of a launch or a migration. So that's the one that we just onboarded over the past couple of months. I try to, I don't take adding technologies lightly, and the organization knows that. I'm very big on, like, I don't want to just keep piling on and be like, this might be fun,
Yeah.
without being a business reason or understanding a strategy. I love building strategies. So as of right now, because we did such a heavy lift from an SMS provider perspective, nothing on the immediate horizon. Doesn't mean that that's not going to happen. Like, there's not going to be something great that's going to come along. My goal really to focus right now is to really leverage the partners we have. I feel that we haven't had a chance to be able to basically exercise all of the technology that we've signed on with. I mean, I feel like we're doing a good job, but we can be doing a better job. So even just doing it, we're added some stuff. Like, we're like, oh, why we're not doing abandoned cart pop-ups? And the team was just like, you should do that. We're like, done. We're like, why haven't we done that? And like, the team's been bringing such great ideas to us, and we're like, we're punting it. We're like, we'll get it when we have time. So now I feel like this is going to be the back half of the year is really taking a breath and saying, these are some great technologies. Cheetah has like a wealth of things that we can do with them. So does just Uno, so does Talkable. And like, now's the time we're probably going to hit the ground running with executing a lot of the stuff we've really been putting on the back burner.
Right? It's that 10%, you 10% of a technology you use, like with Photoshop's the classic one, but everyone
Of
uses
course,
it
yeah,
10%. And it's like what it, it's the low hanging fruit drives me nuts in business. It's like there's so many opportunities. Like if we were just
absolutely.
to strip everything out, focus, and deliver on this, then imagine what we could achieve.
Oh,
Uh,
100%, 100%. Yeah, and it all comes back to zero party data. So if you can just, obviously engage with customers and get them to obviously provide the data that would make sense to really create this experience for them that would be more, personalized and more, for what their needs are. I mean, they're kind of the sky's the limit at that point.
the Scott Brinker posted today on LinkedIn this chart. I don't know if
Mhm.
it was interesting uh, talking about data and how
Yeah.
the breakdown is. God, what was it? I actually did a screenshot of it. I thought it was interesting. It was 73. The main barriers to data access: 73% inefficient tools, the
Mm.
technology.
Yeah.
Then 60%. And here's a little chart.
Oh, yeah. So lack of data.
60% is actually, they call it management process,
Hmm.
that you have these tools, but there's this big loss of management of it.
Yeah.
What are you actually doing with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so having your strategy is so
Mm.
important. Can we jump back to that where you're talking about, sounds like you're very focused on building a
Mm.
strategy, then
Yeah.
executing. Is
Yep,
there
correct.
a general structure, even like with this SMS that you're looking at? Can you kind of
Mhm.
walk us through what a kind of a basic strategy outline would be?
Yeah, I'm gonna start from the top. So I really, for me overall, and like the strategy we built for all of the things that we want to do for the year. So we actually built it out earlier and just trying to check them off as the year goes on, is really just starting, what are the company goals? Like we're looking from a growth perspective, we're looking from a revenue perspective. Like, I make sure that any strategy that's being built or any execution that has to happen ladders up into those goals. So myself, my team doesn't, yeah. So it starts at the top
Revenue,
basically.
end of the day, it's
Revenue
revenue.
growth, yeah, revenue and growth. I think with any company it is. It's like customer growth, revenue, it all works there. So I always have myself and the team say to yourself, if you're going to work on something, does it ladder up into the company goals? If it ladders up in the company goals, let's hit the ground and run with it. So what I usually do is I start there and I say, I'm like, okay, well, we own the customer. Like, what do we need to do? So we want to focus heavily on the customer experience. How do we do that? And then I just kind of start leveling down, being like, okay, we want to do that. Great. We have a great opportunity from a lifecycle management perspective. We haven't looked at our lifecycle marketing from an email perspective in a year and a half. That's insane. We just have not had time. So I'm like, what can we do there? Well, there's tons of cross sell and upsell opportunities in there, and I think that we can do better at that. So then I'll basically then right next to it say, okay, now let's look at the data. So I want to do something with that. Let's see what the data tells us, and then I start building a plan out from there, and then I kind of just work my way through the strategy itself.
I
Kind of just how my brain works.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, at the end of the day, it's ROI. It's
Exactly.
we're in
Everything is.
retail. How do we get sales? How do we move
Absolutely.
that dial?
Yeah.
What segments can we improve by 10% to get the
Yeah.
most maximum growth
Yeah.
out of it?
Absolutely.
The I know I recall in some notes the international market was on your radar. Is that in fact you're kind of looking to see how you can tap into those markets? And
Yeah. So we are currently in Canada. So we've been in Canada. So we're mainly in the US. We launched Canada, I think about a year and a half, 2 years ago. So we've been in Canada for a while now. And then we're actually we haven't launched yet, so I will not say it, but we're launching somewhere else. So we're always looking for expansion out there. Obviously, we want to make sure it makes sense from a logistics perspective, shipping perspective, things like that. So, again, it's all about priorities, like, from a company perspective. So we're actually working on a launch outside of the US. So you should hear more about that shortly.
here's a random question.
Sure.
As my dog say hello
I
here.
love it. I love it.
Chasing the cats. Uh, so you're in the cat world industry now.
Mhm. Correct.
You've probably learned a lot more about cats in that world
Yeah.
than you ever thought you would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me, like, what do I not know about cats? Is there like a cat hub of the
That's
world?
a
Like,
lot of cat facts. You can get facts through Slack, which is very cool. I would say the biggest thing, and this is really core around the company itself, and this I didn't know, is that cats are known for hiding diseases, hiding pain. So hiding, so they are known for basically hiding. So, that's actually how the company started was Daniel Rotman, who was our CEO and founder of the company. He lost his cat to a disease. And, when he was speaking to the vet, he's like, I had no idea. It really seemed to, she went downhill so quickly. And the vet's like, well, she was probably sick for a while. You just didn't know. Because that's just it's probably not just felines, it's probably all animals, but it's fascinating to me just how pets can do that. Like that's just something that like it's a human ability that I think it's a little harder for us. Also because we have the verbal communication that we can say something and let people know what's going on, but it's just something that's almost not it's not a priority for them. They're just like, I just want to live, I want to have fun, I want to be loved. So it's very fascinating to me that that's just they almost put others first as a pet, like as a cat, as a dog. So it's just it's grateful to be to have any of them in our lives. So I just thought that was really impressive that they hide that, and I'm like, how do you do that?
Well, and your product's helping.
Yes, exactly.
You get to be part of something great, and you get to have kittens on your website.
Exactly. It's awesome. It's awesome. I have a very cool, I'm part of a very cool company, and I'm very lucky to be on the journey with them.
Well, it sounds like they're very lucky to have you there as well.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
I love hearing the focus and the strategies and everything. We're coming up to about 30 minutes, which I kind of like to keep them in this realm. Are there any other, anything obvious we missed today?
I think we covered a lot. No, I mean, I think that we were good with the technology and stuff. I mean, it's always, I think digital marketers, we're always just trying to get to the next level in terms of how do we grow from a company perspective? How do we grow our customers? How do we make our customers feel loved and connected and wanting to come back? And I feel like it's, we're always hungry and like, we're just hungry for more information. And I feel like this is great. I love that you're doing this. And I think this is fantastic.
Well, that more information is, connecting with customers is you learn so much, whether you're retail or our business.
Absolutely.
That was one thing with, prior life, running a snowboard company, something people could be passionate about.
Yeah.
And so it was fun to connect with our customers and it was natural because everyone was passionate about it. And through that, we were able to build the best product and best experience all the way through.
I think that's great.
Just hearing and learning what digital marketers like yourself are managing these days. You mentioned Canada, though it popped in my head is like, well, how's he handling the international shipping? And do they still hold your items at the border and they have to like pay the tariff and then get it?
That'll be another discussion. We have 3PLs up there. So yes, and we have a whole, our team is amazing who handles that. Our operations team is fantastic. So they are brilliant with how they move all the product around. With
your, so you would consider Pretty Litter as a DTC. Mm-hmm. Do you do wholesale as well?
We do not. But we are in Target and Walmart. So we're actually we're also in retail, like traditional retail.
Okay. Yeah. It's in retail, when you get into distribution, there's so many new barriers that get put in place when you're trying to sell.
Absolutely.
And so no wholesale, B2B side.
No, I mean, just, just retail right now.
I was talking with Will Griffin from Sophistiplate, and it was amazing to learn that a large percentage of their business is wholesale.
Oh, interesting.
So he's now being asked to manage the B2C, and then now that side of the business. It's
that's gonna be fascinating.
More on his plate. No pun intended. On a basis. So, well, fantastic, Matthew. Thanks for the time, and I look forward to checking back in. And,
appreciate it.
And maybe I'll get a cat soon. Add to the diet.
Let us know. Yeah, you can be the first one. We'll send some information over.
My first box comes with a kitten.
Yes, exactly. We'd love to get that to you. But no, thanks for having me.
All right, Matthew. Take care.
Okay, thanks.